The Phantasmic Journey Podcast is brought to you by Tascam and Amazon Studios. For more than 30 years, Tascam has developed products for every segment of the sound and music industry. From the high-end audio professional in a major post-production studio to the novice of hobbyist at home, Tascam is everywhere. They are a company committed to providing their customers audio and video solutions that enable breakthroughs by using sound in ways that are exciting as they are accessible, even recording the voices of the dead. You asked for a non-scripted paranormal TV show. You begged for a non-staged paranormal TV show. You begged and you pleaded, and we have listened. We present to you Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown. It was released October 31st, 2017. In this series, we show you what it's like behind the scenes and conducting a real paranormal investigation. Join Gavin Kelly, Paula Purcell, and their special guests to seek out the existence of life after death by going to numerous haunted locations such as jails, hospitals, battlefields, and museums, collecting compelling evidence by means of video, photography, and EVPs. In this season, the crew investigates the St. Albans Sanatorium, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, Jailhouse Pizza, and the famed Monroe House. And you can watch Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown on Amazon.com right now. Season 2 and 3 will be coming soon. Your journey begins now. As you all have of the known and unknown. What do we understand? What answers are we trying to achieve? Are there answers? Tonight, we gather to find more verity. Join us as we take the journey into the unknown. This is the Phantasmic Journey Podcast with your hosts, Gavin Kelly and Paula Purcell. Well, welcome to the Phantasmic Journey Podcast, everyone. I'm Gavin Kelly, and sitting right next to me is my lovely wife, Paula Purcell. How are you today, Paula?
Doing pretty decently, considering the weather outside.
Yeah, it's snowing, isn't it?
Well, it was.
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting hit with some more snow, supposedly. Actually, last night we were supposed to get hit with some snow at midnight, and guess what? We didn't get it. So, what do you got in the news for us today? Anything exciting?
Well, I had one story which I asked you earlier. Do you remember what it was? Because we said that would have been a cool thing to do for the podcast.
Not a clue.
And we had not a clue. My mind, has been racing because we have lots of things in our pots, and sometimes our pots get overflowed and are drained dry.
Our pots?
Our pots.
What?
Yeah, I was in cooking pots. We always have too many pots with water boiling.
You mean too many irons in the fire?
Well, that could be too. That's another analogy.
Wow.
Anyway, but yes, of course everybody knows about the California fires.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody's in our prayers on everything that's going on over there. People have posted pictures of people rescuing animals, and some animals got hurt, and people are help getting them taken care of and getting them back to where they belong and all that stuff. A lot of deaths. That's the last I heard was 43.
Good Lord. I have family out there, too. I don't think the fires are anywhere near them. Last time I heard it was up in the hills by Burbank. It got to L.A., something about the Sierras. Malibu is basically gone.
Paradise,
yeah. All of it's gone.
On to closer note, I don't know if you guys travel a lot to St. Louis on I-55, but how many have heard the story about the goat on I-55?
The goats?
The goat. A goat. His name's Billy.
Well, duh. Billy Goat?
Well, it's a sad Billy has showed up about 2.5 years ago, and I think he's at mile marker 238.6 or 228.6. I have it written down. I don't have it with me at the moment, but everybody took I-55. They always watched out for Billy. He always would get up on the bluff, and he would look down to all the cars passing by, and he became one of those attractions that everybody had to look for Billy on I-55.
Okay.
Well, some sad news. Last weekend, they had found there was neighbors close to the bluff where he comes.
Mm-hmm.
They feed him. Well, they found him close to the feeding trough, and he had passed.
So no more Billy Goat?
So no more Billy on I-55, but they are raising money and funds to start some kind of memorial to put on the side of the bluff where Billy, the goat of I-55, they're doing T-shirts. I will post a link to the T-shirts on my Facebook page. If anybody is interested in contributing, the shirts are $25 a piece. And part of those funds is going to go towards building a memorial for Billy on I-55.
A memorial for a goat.
Yes, he became a fun little attraction.
Okay.
Okay, go on to animals. I guess tonight's about animals.
Is it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Reports of rabid raccoons terrorizing a West Virginia neighborhood turns out to be exaggerated. Everybody thought these raccoons were, becoming vicious and stuff, but come to find out they're not. The raccoons did not have rabies. They simply found some fermented crab apples and apparently got drunk.
Wow.
We have had calls on suspected rabid raccoons twice over the last 2 days, the Milton Police Department wrote on Facebook. Turns out they appear to be drunk on crab apples.
Drunk raccoons on crab apples. Awesome.
It gets better.
Oh, jeez.
The department released a mug shot on one of these masked subjects.
Oh, boy.
Police recently hauled in 2 drunk raccoons, although catching them was a community effort. After the animals sobered up, the officers released them into the wild.
Alrighty.
So, yeah. After they released them back into the woods unharmed. Do not approach the raccoons that are acting unusual, police said. Call the authorities just in case the creatures are ill or rather than drunk.
Okay. Oh, my God.
One more story and then we can proceed on.
Okay.
Getting out of the animals.
Okay.
Getting a little bit into the holiday spirit.
46 days till Christmas.
Well, true. And Thanksgiving's next week.
Yep.
To kind of get into, there is a contest. An interesting contest.
Of what?
You know who Jimmy Dean Sausage is, right?
Yep.
Okay. The sausage maker, Jimmy Dean, is asking customers to trade photos of their favorite dishes for free gifts, including sausage scent wrapping paper.
I know I'm going to wrap your gift in.
The company said that the Jimmy Dean gift exchange offers a variety of free gifts that customers can exchange for photos of dishes cooked from their company's featured sausage recipes. The exchange involves 3 steps. Step 1. Cook one of Jimmy Dean's featured sausage recipes. Step 2. Submit a picture of your dish to jimmydeansgiftexchange.com. Step 3. Select which one of your several free gifts you would like to receive. The free gifts include sausage scent wrapping paper,
Definitely want that.
a glass Christmas tree ornament shaped like a package of Jimmy Dean sausage, an ugly Christmas sweater,
Nope.
printed apron, and a vinyl Christmas album recording by Jimmy Dean himself in 1965.
Okay.
The company said one participant will also win a $10,000 diamond-studded belt buckle inspired by Jimmy Dean's famous signature belt buckle.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm glad that everybody has decided to join us today. Unfortunately, we were unable to do the podcast last night as scheduled. Our guests had something that came up, so we went ahead and pushed our podcast over to tonight. And basically, there is a new team of paranormal investigators here to answer 2 questions about ghost hunting. Are ghosts for real? And why is everybody white? They're best friends who all had paranormal experiences as kids. Now that they're all grown up, they're not afraid to go looking for the answers. Their mission is to hit the most haunted locations in America to prove that ghosts are for real. With catchy taglines such as, "It's time to pop the trunk on these ghosts," and "Let's go ghosting." Yes, I am talking about Destination America stars of the Ghost Brothers. Dalen Spratt and Jawan Mass will be joining us shortly. It's kind of funny how he always does the "Are ghosts for real?" and "Why is everybody white?" I love that one. That's the best one.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, this is going to be an exciting night. So we should be getting Dalen giving us a call pretty soon. But if anybody has any questions, just go ahead and jump into the chat room and ask your questions there. What are you looking all funny for?
Nothing.
Oh. So, but pretty soon we're going to go ghosting, so we'll see how that goes. So, I can't wait for this show. It's going to be pretty cool. So, as you can still see that we still kind of sort of are sick. Believe it or not, I've been sick for almost a month and a half now. Paula, probably about a month. I don't know what it is. It sometimes comes and goes. I mean, my singing voice is gone, so yeah, pretty much for that. Throat's inflamed, all that fun stuff. So, but right now it's supposed to be snowing. It's not snowing, but aren't we supposed to get snow tonight?
I don't know. It's just a slim chance percentage. But when I looked at the radar about 3 hours ago, it was kind of like scattering out and kind of dissolving. So I don't know if we'll get anything off of it or not.
Well, I know last night you said it was supposed to snow. Like we were supposed to get plummeted at midnight, and I turned the security camera on so we could watch. Guess what? Nothing. Woke up this morning and still looked the same.
Well, you know.
I was hoping for a snow day. I wanted to work from home.
3 foot of snow and we can stay home.
Well, hell, you know Nashville freaks out when they see 1 inch of snow. Got to get the bread, eggs, and milk.
So we're waiting for them to call in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just going to chill until they call in. So, speaking of, huh?
Nothing.
Oh. Speaking of the bread, eggs, and milk, didn't you see a picture of the shelves at Walmart and there was no bread?
Yep. Actually, that was Banks Market.
Oh. Dang.
That was Banks Market.
That's pretty bad.
Well, since we're waiting, I do have one story left.
Go for it.
You are a drone person. We have drone fans.
Maybe.
Well, you take.
I'm a drone person. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you let people drone. Well, there's a group of shocked cyclists, as in, he was a cyclist.
Okay.
Captured video of the moment of a drone operator nearly pulling off the high-tech bike theft. The video, recorded in Czechoslovak Republic, shows the cyclist climbing a local landmark known as the Lookout Tower and taking video of a drone flying by.
Okay.
The cyclist starts scrambling down the tower when the drone lowers down to the ground and picks up one of the bicycles. The drone starts to fly away with the bike, despite one of the cyclists trying to stop it by throwing his helmet at the device. The video ends with the cyclist chasing the drone on foot. The filmer said the drone dropped the bike a few hundred feet away. So the drone was being used to steal a bike.
Okay, that's interesting. I've never seen that before. Especially trying to throw a helmet at it. That's crazy. So, oh yeah, that's right. I mean, like she said, I am a drone person, and we love to fly drones. We're always using drones for aerial photography for when we go ahead and film our episodes. We always got to have that aerial shot. So, pardon me, gotta drink some Coke here. How many people are excited for Ghost Brothers to come in here? Let's see a share of hands. And she's looking going, where are the hands at? I don't see the hands. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, normally we have a screen where we can actually see all the stuff. I see we're not doing Facebook Lives anymore, so we don't get to see the little thumbs up and the happy faces and all that stuff. We're just strictly set up on Live 365 through WCGT Radio Live. So this show is actually sponsored through WCGT. And I believe we got the guys calling in.
And if you want to ask questions, messages on our messenger.
Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, man?
How's it going?
Oh, man, it's going.
Hey, you got Juwan here.
Hey, Juwan, what's going on?
Man, not too much.
So I saw a picture of you where it said something about going back to L.A. Are you in L.A. right now?
Yeah, I just got here today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my, L.A. isn't, but California is my home away from home. I was raised in Pasadena, California for 19 years. So I kind of miss
I
it.
understand. It's not too far from here.
So you actually go out of Atlanta, right? Or you live in California?
We're all based out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yep.
So maybe we'll run into you guys when we go to Dragon Con next year.
Hey, man, maybe. We definitely be there, man. We'll definitely be there.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So I got Paula here, and I'm sure you remember her. She was talking to you when we were over at Scarefest.
Okay.
And remember when we were talking about, let's see, what the heck are we talking about? Thornhaven Manor. Yeah, she's probably going to ask you some questions about that. But mainly what we always do during our show is, it's stated that you guys are best friends, and each one of you had your own paranormal experience. What was the experience that got you into wanting to search for the paranormal? Find answers.
I know for me.
So you got Jawan here. So yeah, my experience started when I was probably early teens. I used to go to a small town in Mississippi called Espatapa, and that's where my family's from. And as a child, we used to run through graveyards, and man, that was just some of the craziest things. Because as I was running through a graveyard one time, I felt like something was running behind me, and I turned around and I didn't see anything, and like you can really feel this presence of something really chasing you. And it's just, you learn really fast you can't outrun a ghost.
Right.
So, like a moment at like 12 or 13 is when I really felt like there was something else out there besides just us. Like I felt like there were other out with us, if you will.
Yeah, we've actually had an experience similar to that. We were at a place called the Oak Grove Cemetery, and we were just walking. Now, we're just talking and walking side by side, and all of a sudden, my investigator stops, and the shadow kept on going, and then it slowly dissipated away.
Oh, wow.
That was totally freaky. So, well, what about you, Dalen? What got you into it?
Oh, man, mine probably happened about when I was 7 years old. There's a small town called West McCamey, Texas, in West Texas. It's about 50 miles outside of Odessa.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my grandmother lives, man. I used to visit her every summer. And I remember I was visiting her one summer, and a cousin of mine, I was 7, so she had to be like maybe 20, 21. Her best friend was dating a guy, and they got into a domestic dispute. And he went outside and got a gun, and he shot her, and he shot himself in the head. She ended up surviving. He ended up dying. It was one of these really small towns where everyone knows everyone. So my grandmother and her best friend decided to go to the funeral home to view the body at the wake.
Mm-hmm.
And, they ended up taking my little 7-year-old self, and we went. And I remember walking into the funeral home and walking up to the casket. And, the lady, my grandmother's friend, she asked me at 7 years old, she was like, "Dalen, have you ever touched a dead body before?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm 7 years old. Like, who? Like, if I told you, yeah, it would have been a problem. Like,
right?
Stop and take the services. My grandmama, right?" So she takes my hand at 7 years old, and she puts it on the chest of this guy who literally had just killed himself 5 days prior.
Oh, jeez.
And and I remember jacking my hand back and like being just like shaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like going home that night to my grandmother's house, and I was sleeping on the couch. I remember waking up in the middle of the night and just looking into the kitchen, and standing in that door frame was the same young man wearing the same outfit that I saw him wearing in the casket. And I remember just screaming as loud as I could, and my grandmother running in and shaking me and like asking me what's wrong. And I'm just pointing to the kitchen, and literally nothing was there.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, real, if it was a dream, if it was a spirit, if it was just what it could have been. But that just always played in the back of my mind until I became an adult. And I was able to ask questions and do research and investigate for myself. So, yeah, that was the one that kind of like always stuck in my head.
Man, I don't think I can handle actually touching a dead body. I mean, sad thing is when I actually worked at Lourdes Hospital, and I would take the elevator up because I was working as IT, and next thing you know, they have a body in there on a gurney, and I'm like, is that guy, and he goes, yep. I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
So, and it's always covered up in that leprechaun cloth, so you kind of know it's a dead person. So, yeah, that's kind of freaky.
Right.
But, yeah, usually the experiences start is at a funeral home or maybe sometime in church. I remember my grandfather died, and we did the open casket thing, and I refused to go up there because I just couldn't do it. I mean, looking at a dead body, I just can't. And my step grandmother was crying, and she was really sad. But the thing that got me is when we were in church, all of a sudden she reached her hand on up to her shoulder, and I kind of got the idea that my grandfather was standing there, and he put his hand on her shoulder, and she's actually patting his hand, knowing that everything is okay.
Yeah.
So once I saw that, we started looking into paranormal as well.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man.
So what would be the most, let's see, I don't want to say scariest experience, but the most memorable one that you've had since you've been out there searching for answers, like current?
What would you say, Jawan? I think mine will probably be, probably the most interesting thing that's happened, man, was we were in it was not one of the most interesting, but it just was interesting because there was just so many people there to witness it. We were in Washington, Georgia at the Fitzpatrick Hotel, and this was during the first season of Ghost Brothers. And we were doing an interview in one of the ballrooms. So, you know, when you film a show, man, like everybody knows when you film a TV show, there's cameras always around. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't understand why people act like they don't realize that there's cameras around.
Oh yeah.
But when you're shooting paranormal, there's a certain type of person that has to film the show. So the certain producer, the sound guy, the cameraman, they're trained to be extremely quiet, extremely still. They're dressed in all black. They're not getting in the way. They're not making a sound. So it's almost like you are there by yourself. But technically, yeah, there is a camera in there in most cases, unless you have a handheld. But in this situation, we had a cameraman, a sound guy, a producer. We had the guy we were interviewing. We had his wife. It was me, Jawan, Marcus. Like, we're all in this ballroom interviewing this guy in the daytime just about the disturbances that happened in this hotel. And in the middle of this interview, and Jawan can attest to this, we all just hear these steps walking down the hallway outside of the ballroom. It sounded like footsteps walking down this wooden floor, but it sounded like it was dragging like a bag or like something heavy was being dragged across the floor as the steps were walking. So we all just stopped. Literally, it's like 10 people in this room. We all just stopped, and we all poke our heads. That was like the old Three Stooges cartoons, like one head poked out, second head poked out. Everybody poked their heads out, and literally there was nothing there, but you could still hear the steps walking down the hallway and hear this bag or whatever being dragged along the floor. It was just creepy, man, because everybody saw it. I mean, or heard it, and no one saw it.
Right.
It was just really wild. Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. It's just weird how things can happen like that, just out of nowhere. All of a sudden, you're going to start hearing some residual noises or disembodied noises. I mean, that stuff just really intrigues us. We were shooting an episode for our show at the Malvern Manor, and we're doing an interview. We're interviewing the guy that owns the place, and during our interview, all of a sudden you hear the boom, 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 boom. real loud, and we're like, what? And there was at least 7 people there. We're like, it sounded like it came from down in Shadow Hallway, so we all stopped, run. We're looking for whatever made that noise. We couldn't find it. What it basically sounded like was, when someone is going into cardiac arrest or something like that, and the door is shut or locked, the nurse is going to start banging on the door, like, open the door, something like that. Well, that's what we heard, and we searched that whole place. Nothing. Totally amazing, and It's on recording. It's on the recorder. It's everywhere, and you can hear it plain as day. It was just freaky. That's one place you guys need to go check out.
That's crazy. That's crazy. We had an issue. Man, we had another occurrence. Man, check this out. We had another occurrence in Monticello, Arkansas. It was really at the end of the investigation, and the crew was I was there with a couple other crew members, but he overheard footsteps kind of like go up the stairs by me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the battery on my mic pack drained. And so you're like, wow, everybody knows that like spirits usually like pull the energy from certain sources, right? So sometimes the mic packs, the battery may drain. But like this happened, and then we go play back, you can hear the footsteps going up the stairs. And it's like one of the creepiest things ever, because like you don't see it, but you know it's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like the hair stand up on the back of your neck, like all your senses are heightened.
Yep.
And you're like, oh wow, I know there was something present right there, and it really walks right past us casually.
I know one.
But the Allen House is a huge active location for us.
Yeah. Well, I know for Dalen, one thing he doesn't like is sitting with his back towards an open room that's pitch dark.
Hell no. Who does like that? Nobody likes that.
Nobody likes that. Dalen ain't alone.
Oh, man. It's like you hear something, it's like, oh, man, no, man, no. Come on, really?
It's kind of like in the basement when we were at that one hospital in Scottsgrove, Kentucky. We were in the basement, and you told me not to move because there was something behind
Oh,
me.
God, yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, telling her not to move. There was a 7-foot-tall shadow behind her, and the hair stood up on the back of her neck. She started feeling cold, and I'm like, don't move. Oh, man.
Like Post-Town had... Wasn't that Post-Town the one, bro? We saw that they had claims of that 7-foot-tall shadow figure walking down the hallway.
Yeah, right outside the principal's office.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I feel like we got some EVP around that time. I know we got some responses on the REM pod when we were doing in the janitor's closet. Remember, we were in the janitor's closet in the school.
What's crazy, I went back there last week, bro, to do an investigation, man, and those same spots are still just as active, bro. That janitor's closet was going crazy when we were there.
Man, I tell you what, there is a cool elementary school you guys need to check out. It's the Farrar Elementary School in Maxwell, Iowa. This place will just...
Maxwell, Iowa.
Mm-hmm. This place will knock your socks off. It's truly amazing. Now, you've heard residual noises, and sometimes, you'll hear it, and all of a sudden it'll stop. Well, we were over there. We had an investigator that we invited, and he said, well, I'll tell you what, we were sleeping above the gymnasium, and around 11:30 midnight, we heard the sound of a basketball game going on. They all woke up. They run downstairs because they think someone broke into the school and is playing basketball in the gymnasium. When they opened the doors of the gymnasium, it stopped. Now, for us, we were there, and I had a box called the Jersey box. And all of a sudden, a basketball game started coming on it. And I'm like, okay, this is cycling through. It's not going to just pick up a basketball game. And the guy goes, that's what I heard. That's what woke us up. So I pick up the box. We walk inside the school thinking it's going to stop. It stayed. I wound up putting up a digital recorder and re-recorded what sounds like, and I kid you not, it's an entire basketball game being played. You can hear people walking up and down the bleachers. You can hear the pep band, the announcer, the sneakers squeaking. And just to make sure that this was residual, I went ahead and put the eddy meter on one side of the court.
Uniform on.
I don't know what uniform they had on, but I put the eddy on one side and I put another geophone on the other. So when you hear someone run down the court, the geophone's actually ticking off like somebody is heading that direction, and then the other one goes off the other direction. So it's like we are actually listening and then kind of visualizing this basketball game going on. That blew my mind.
Crazy.
I mean, that is crazy.
Right.
But that,
No, that's real.
You should put some money on it.
I still have the recording. I have to let you hear it.
Yeah.
We,
That sounds like it need to be on SportsCenter.
Right? On ESPN.
right?
Yeah, that sounds like top 10 right there. Dun-dun-dun.
Right? I mean, we would go ahead and play that when we do our Ghostology seminar at, public libraries and stuff, and people are just totally floored when they hear that. They're like, that is a real basketball game being played. And I'll demonstrate what this box does. It just cycles on through, and it takes out the white noise, and it adds reverb to it. That's it. And you'll hear it going through radio stations and stuff. It does not land on anything. And I mean, this is a full-fledged basketball game. But this place is so cool that, I don't know, did you ever watch the show that they had out, Ghost Stalkers, with Chad Lindbergh and John Tenney?
I think I might have seen clips of it before.
Okay. Well, they went to the Farrar, and they had a weird experience that happened in the principal's office. Well, Paula was in there herself, and she was sitting there saying, I heard that, well, you tell them.
Well, at first, back it up a second, because basically the principal was one of those that it was a nitpicking principal where basically it didn't matter if you smiled wrong or whatever, he was going to get you for something. So that was the background on this principal. So I purposely ran down the hallway towards the principal's office, being a bad girl. And
That was funny.
and I ran into the principal's office, and I told him, I just ran down the hallway. What are you going to do to me? And then we proceeded on to talking into a conversation, because we knew that he liked to take children and lock him up in his closet that he had beside his office, and he would do things to them. And so I told him, I said, was you a bad principal? And all of a sudden, while I was in the principal's office, it felt like something hit me on top of my hand, like taking those old wooden rulers and smacking the top of your hand and all that. So it felt like something was smacked on the top of my hand, and it was left this great big huge red mark. It was like a stinging sensation, and when we looked there, it was this big old huge red mark on top of my hand, like I had gotten hardly smacked by a wooden ruler of some sort.
Yeah, that's kind of freaky.
Sound like you were getting reprimanded.
Right? So have you guys ever been slapped, kicked, scratched, pushed, or anything?
I had my
I mean, not by. Yeah, this booty pinched.
I got my butt grabbed at the sawmill. Where was that at, bro? What city was that in?
Longleaf. That was a sawmill in Louisiana.
Yeah, they got kind of handsy over there, man, but nothing too aggressive. I think because we don't really come in with, like, negative energy, man. Like,
right.
Negative, not saying that you have to, but, like, we just try to come in very, very, very respectful. Mm-hmm. And nobody wants to pick on the nice guy, because at that point, you're just a bully.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, we don't ever really, I don't think nothing's ever just been aggressive with us since we've been doing it, man. But we've been to some dark places, and we know when to get out. People usually warn you before they get aggressive.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I put it like this. I've never been grabbed. I've never been pushed, slapped. I don't think I've ever been abused in that sense. I was almost taken advantage of, but I got out of there quickly, and that was at Rose Hall.
You did. You were swift on your feet.
Rose Hall. Yeah, I was quick on my feet. And Rose Hall decided to be a human trigger object for trying to make contact with, they called her Annie, and she was the White Witch of Rose Hall. She was basically murdering her husband, burying him on the property, and then sleeping with the slaves. and like making them like killing her. Yeah. But I tried to get in contact with her by taking my shirt off and getting my favorite object in her bedroom. And come to find out, I don't think it was her. I think it was one of her slave lovers named Taku that was in the room. And I was like, oh, I had to get out. I had to get out of there quickly.
Well, you set yourself up for that one, though.
He did, didn't he?
Right? Like, you can't get in somebody else's bed and then be mad.
And be mad when they show up. It was more so like I was my piece. Like, that was his and her room, and I'm in here trying to do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to find out who was there.
Oh, man.
Funny.
I hear him back there. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, man.
Have you ever been to a location to where you couldn't, like, you started the investigation and it was one of those locations you just couldn't finish the location?
I think that was probably House of Wheels, man. That's where Marcus couldn't go in and didn't want to go in. That's just where that place is just so demonic. And actually, it's Cleveland's #1 satanic church right now.
Oh,
and at least that's how it was explained to us. Like, I know sometimes, man, it could be 1,000 different stories circulating around about a place, and we may get information that may not be 1,000% accurate all the time about a location. But we try to talk to people that's had, instances there or had issues there. So talking to the owner, definitely it is Cleveland's #1 satanic church. So that place is as evil as they come.
Man, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember watching that episode. Marcus was like, I'm gonna sit this one out. He's like, I'm not doing it. I mean, the stories that I've heard about the House of Wheels, I was like, oh my God. And I mean, it's beautiful inside. Don't get me wrong on that. I mean, it looks really cool inside. But hearing what that guy or the owner, what goes on in there, that just gives me the creeps. I'd be hanging out on the outside as well.
I guess I didn't see that episode.
You didn't see that episode?
No.
Oh, man. I've seen them all.
Well, you keep up with everything.
Oh, well, of course I do.
Someone has to clean the house and do the laundry.
Ooh. Damn. Oh, man.
But anyway, yeah, there is one episode that I did watch of you guys that I don't know. I'm one of those, I try not to watch too much on paranormal shows because I don't want to have that. If I get to go to the location, this is in the back of my mind. This is what you had experienced and everything. I always like to go in and try to have my own experiences. But there was one episode that stuck out, and it was one of those that I've never been to the location, have not to this day been to the location yet.
We'd like to.
We like to. We're trying to see if we can get it into the schedule for next year. But anyway, I've never had dreams of a location that I've never been into before, and it haunts you for 3 nights in a row. And that's basically Thornhaven Manor. And I wanted to talk to you guys about Thornhaven Manor. And do you know, besides the story that was told on the show, do you have any more in-depth background knowledge of Thornhaven?
I mean, like I said, from the story, we get told the stories from the people that, have investigated there before, historians, or so, all we can go is based on hearsay. But from our understanding about Thornhaven, the story was that there was a husband and wife. They had 2 daughters. One of the daughters was married, and her husband ended up raping her sister, so the sister-in-law. And he ended up poisoning the family, and the father ends up passing away. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there more to this? I don't know. That's what we were. That's what
I'm trying to find out, because I've heard of that. I mean, I've heard of the same exact story that you're telling me, But in my dreams, and I've had other teams experience this there at the location, but they can't explain it. And there is a gentleman, and we don't know much about the gentleman. It might be one of the members of the family there, but they have caught, and this is the dream that I've had, I've caught a man in a pair of bibbed overalls screaming his head off, and all he is got his mouth open and he's screaming. And they have gotten, that's the dream I've had, but I've also had investigators that come in there and have caught an image of a man, in the foreground or the background of a picture or a video, and it looks like a man in a pair of bibbed overalls and screaming. And they've actually gotten EVPs of a man screaming. So I'm trying to figure out if that is tied into that story or if there's another story that's underlying that we don't know about.
Yeah, I know. We have a picture from Thornhaven, and it's someone took a picture in the mirror, so everyone's sitting around the table, but in the mirror there's a shadow figure, and it looks like a man in bib overalls looking into the room.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I still have that picture on my phone, but yeah, it's a shadow figure. So I think there is some type of confluency with all of that stuff.
Well, it's just interesting because I didn't know it. What was your personal take on that location?
Hello?
I said, what is your personal personal take on that location?
Thornhaven was crazy for me. That was a lot of stuff didn't make the episode in Thornhaven because it really got kind of dark. I think there's a lot of residual hauntings in Thornhaven. I think there's a lot of like grief and despair in there, and I don't think that place is ever going to be right. I think too many dark things probably happen in there, and more than probably what we know happened there. It's just a lot of.
It was just a lot of. It felt like there was a lot of dark energy in Thornhaven, and just given the storyline and some of the things that we even just picked up on, I don't think it made the episode because it was just heavy. It was just really heavy. Like it was abuse, and those type of things. Just, I know for me, I just got like choked up a lot at Thornhaven. Yeah, it was like some of those energies were just really hard to stand.
Gotcha. Out of all the locations that you have been to, what is one location you would like to go back and investigate more?
I think I like the Allen House in Monticello, Arkansas, because that was just genuinely just a home that a family still lived in. It had an interesting story, and this is like this family still lives with these spirits. They see doppelgangers, they see all type of crazy stuff. I think that would be kind of cool to go back. It just literally looks like every other stereotypical haunted house that you see on every horror movie. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Visually, it's appealing.
I mean, just from like the decor to like the outside, it looked like it would be haunted. And then to find out that it actually is, and then for it to be a family still living there, I think going back there would be dope. Would be like a follow-up.
Does it look like the Addams Family house?
And the crazy thing about it is, like, the father is an author, so he writes horror books and novels about the house.
But he was a scientist too, though, wasn't he? Like, he really was like a skeptic until he started seeing like his family's doppelganger.
Right.
And then he tried to find a scientific experience.
And then the son is like a 13-year-old genius. He's in college. He's like 13.
Jeez.
Like, it's just a lot of just interesting occurrences with that family.
Wow. We just heard our dog barking. Have you ever seen a doppelganger before?
Hell no.
I have not. No.
And don't want.
I have not.
Have you? Have you ever seen a doppelganger?
Yeah. I didn't see it personally, but a friend of mine told me, he goes, I saw you at Waverly Hills.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I'm not at Waverly Hills. I'm at home. He goes, dude, I saw you at Waverly Hills. You were up on the third floor looking out over the thing. I'm like, no, I am here in Paducah. I'm not in Louisville. And he swore up and down, and even the other people saw it, and they thought they saw me at Waverly Hills, and I was not there.
Yeah, it's probably just some guy that looks just like you floating around here, man.
Could be. I don't know. I guess I kind of got that face. I mean, me and my ex-producer actually look alike.
You and your who?
Our ex-producer. He actually looks like me.
I thought you said you and your ex look alike. I thought you said, oh,
Yeah. Me and my ex, we look alike. Yeah, no.
No.
Oh,
God, no.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh.
I ain't gonna lie. That's what I thought he said too. That's what I thought you said too, but I ain't want to comment on it.
Oh, man.
I said, hey, man, you got to love who you love. Man. You love who you love.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. Have you guys been to Waverly Hills yet?
No, man, everybody keeps telling us that's the place we need to go.
Well,
Everybody keeps saying that.
It's okay, but it's oversaturated. I mean, it's been investigated by so many teams. It's unreal. So, I mean, I took Paula there for the first time, and it was amazing what we did. We invited 10 investigators to come with us, so that way we can actually film them on how they investigate, because everyone has their own methodology of how they investigate. They have their own process. So we wanted to get all that on film. We wanted to see how each person investigates. And, of course, other investigators can watch that and learn from them. So it's a learning experience that we went ahead and did. And one of our investigators got scratched. We've got the best EVP ever. We were in the death tunnel. And somebody said something. And also, the EVP says, there are no ghosts here. Just plain and clear, just like that. Straight up, Class A. There are no ghosts here.
Wow.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's crazy. And he was lying.
Man, everybody says Waverly. Yeah, right. What they learn. Everybody say Waverly is crazy. That's something we have to check out, bro.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of places. I mean, gosh, this whole nation. Oh my God, I can't even talk.
You can't even talk.
Yeah, the whole United States has a lot of places. I mean, you have. You've already been to Ashmore Estates, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
There.
What did you think of Ashmore?
Ashmore was cool, man. We said it would be really dope. It would be fun to have videotape there on the show. But we just did that as a public investigation.
Oh, okay. It was an event, in other words.
Yeah.
And then you guys are going to be going to the Mineral Springs Hotel, so that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been
Very
there.
exciting.
Yeah, we've been there for a daytime investigation. We haven't gone back for an actual filming.
We haven't gone back for filming, but we've been there. It's pretty. It's
How
interesting. There's one place that you're probably gonna have. Well, let's put it this way: what is your favorite device that you like to use when you go on an investigation? And then we'll talk about the Mineral Springs.
Probably the SLS cam, or
Okay.
I've always been a big fan of the REM pod.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna have to also go with the SLS, but I also got to go with the Spirit Box.
Right. Now, well, since we're going to talk about that, you know how there's a lot of skeptics out there, and there's a lot of people that know the scientific principles or the electrical engineering that goes into these devices, whereas the REM pod can get set off with a cell phone, a walkie-talkie, fluorescent lights. Let's see, what was the other one? Basically, a microwave, too, can actually set that off. And then you know about the Spirit Box, the power of suggestion, quotes. That one really drives me bananas. The SLS camera, I love that. But when you go to the Mineral Spring, make sure you have the SLS camera with you. When you go to the main pool, it's empty, of course, but it's the big pool. There is a little girl that plays with her dolls next to the rocking chair. and you can take the SLS down there. You might capture her and just ask her to sit in her chair, and the chair will move.
Okay. All right.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, we get a lot of slack on devices and stuff because we have skeptics galore that basically, oh well, this is going to turn that off, and that's going to set this off, and yada yada yada. But yeah, I was just kind of curious because that made me come up with the story about the pool and what you need to take. Mineral Springs is pretty cool. There's 2 pools. The biggest one is where the little girl plays. And let's see, what was the other thing? There was the ballroom. Wasn't there a bathroom where somebody killed themselves?
No, it's the lady upstairs. She made suicide. It's on the 2nd floor, right above the gift shop.
Oh, okay. That's right. And while you're out there, you might want to make a quick stop at the McPike Mansion. You ought to check that place out. You heard about it?
Okay. No, I've never heard of it. The McPike Mansion.
Yeah.
Actually, that whole little town of
Say it
Alton's
again,
pretty
the
well got its
McPike?
stories.
Yeah, basically the whole town of Alton is haunted.
Yeah, pretty well much.
So you're kind of gonna,
McPike Mansion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're kind of going to be there in like your own little Shepherdstown, but it's Alton.
That's how Bryan, Ohio was this past weekend when I was there. They're like its own little Shepherdstown.
How did that go for you? We were actually invited to go up there, but unfortunately we couldn't because we were filming and we also had family coming in for Thanksgiving. But I'd like to know, what did you think about Bryan?
I think it's an excellent town, man. The whole town is pretty much haunted. Like every building in like the downtown area has some type of story or getting activity in all the buildings, and the whole town was just open and accessible, and everyone is just like really interested in the haunted history of it. So it's always cool when everybody when the town plays a part into it.
Right? It's not going to be like that one's like, oh man, you crazy, get out of here.
Right, exactly.
Well,
We ran into a couple of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, we went to a haunted house / they call it the industrial slaughterhouse, and it's a haunted house during the Halloween season. But it's in a churchy town. Is it considered a Bible Belt?
Well, basically, the whole town is like extremely Catholic.
There you go. An entire Catholic town.
But you have the slaughterhouse kind of in the middle of this whole town besides the church.
Yeah.
And what goes on there? Oh, I would love to see them too in the industrial slaughterhouse. Are you afraid of clowns?
That's funny. No, I'm definitely not afraid of clowns.
I hate clowns.
Man, I got scared by a clown.
The movie It should have made us afraid of clowns back in the day.
I have been I have been afraid of clowns ever since I went to a carnival with my parents, and I turned my head into this little clown, and he would sit there and he'd wave at me. And I'm like, I grabbed my dad's hand, and he's like, what? And I point, he ain't there. So we start walking around. We go to the little area where they have like the ring toss, and there's that clown. He's waving again. I'm like, oh. So a couple years later, there's a movie that comes out called Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That little clown is actually in the movie.
Oh, man, I haven't seen that. I got to check out Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, God. And then we go to the industrial slaughterhouse, turn the corner, and there's one of those freaking clowns from the movie right there. I can't handle clowns. I can't. Nope.
Wasn't that you, Juwan, who Marcus scared with that clown? And where was that at?
Yeah, at Thornhaven. That was me. That's what I'm saying. I
Thornhaven.
got scared by one at Thornhaven.
Wait, there's clowns at Thornhaven?
Marcus playing. No, man, Marcus was playing a joke.
Oh,
and,
okay.
There's a staircase in Thornhaven that really leads to nowhere. Like it goes up to a wall, but you don't know that until you turn a corner. So when you wrap around the stairs and you turn the corner, Marcus placed a clown doll sitting at the top. Oh my God! Scared the shit out of me.
Oh, man.
At least it didn't raise its hand and wave at you.
Right? That'll be like Poltergeist right there. Forget that crap. Mm-mm.
Yeah, we would have canceled the episode.
Oh, man. Well, I know you guys are busy guys, so we're going to go ahead and let you have the floor where you can go ahead and tell all our listeners where they can find you, website, any events that you guys are going to be at, and that way they can, come on out and see you guys and get to know you guys better. So the floor is yours.
Perfect. Well, this is Dalen Spratt, man. You can always catch me on Instagram at Dalen Spratt, and on Facebook, same thing, Dalen Spratt. And our website is straightghosting.com, StraightGhosting.com. And you can go in there and find out all our events, anything we have coming up. And we should have a pretty big announcement coming up really soon, man. So everybody just definitely be on the lookout for that.
Cool. I love announcements.
To piggyback off that, my name is Juwan Mass, guys. You can find me on social media at Juwan Mass, JUWAN MASS. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Be sure to check us out on our website at straightghosting.com. Be sure to follow our Straight Ghosting page on Instagram. We'll be notifying you guys on some upcoming events and also some upcoming big announcements. So this has been a pleasure. We really appreciate you having us on, and we look forward to seeing you guys and maybe investigating with you soon.
Oh, hey, yeah, we'd like that. That'd be awesome. Maybe we'll run into you guys, like I said earlier, at Dragon Con. We might actually be there in Atlanta, Georgia for that. That'll be awesome.
That'd be dope.
So thank you guys for being on the show. We truly enjoyed it, and I'm sure our listeners have enjoyed it as well. And maybe next time we can have you guys on, and possibly we can drag Marcus along for this one.
Okay, man, I appreciate that, boss. We'll definitely make sure we have everybody the next time.
All right, man. Well,
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Hey, not a problem. You guys have yourself a good evening, all right?
Have a good night.
All right, man. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Bye-bye,
All right.
guys.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, well, there you guys go. You actually got to talk to the Ghost Brothers, Dalen Spratt and Juwan Mass. Once again, they are a team of paranormal investigators here to answer two questions about ghost hunting. Are ghosts for real? And why is everybody white? As you know, they are best friends, and they've had paranormal experiences as they were kids, and of course now they're grown up, and they're not afraid to look for answers. So during tonight's show, we asked them questions about their experiences and what type of answers they're looking for. So there you have it. They are out there to prove that ghosts are for real, and of course we can't forget them catchy taglines. Let's go ghosting, and pop the trunk on these ghosts. So with that in mind, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Next week, we will be joined by Stephanie Bingham on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central. And we'll hope to see everybody then. Everyone have yourself a good night. Stay warm and hope the snow don't get you.
Phantasmic Journey Podcast is brought to you by Tascam and Amazon Studios. For more than 30 years, Tascam has developed products for every segment of the sound and music industry. From the high-end audio professional in a major post-production studio to the novice of hobbyist at home, Tascam is everywhere. They are a company committed to providing their customers audio and video solutions that enable breakthroughs by using sound in ways that are exciting as they are accessible, even recording the voices of the dead. You asked for a non-scripted paranormal TV show. You begged for a non-staged paranormal TV show. You begged and you pleaded, and we have listened. We present to you Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown. It was released October 31st, 2017. In this series, we show you what it's like behind the scenes and conducting a real paranormal investigation. Join Gavin Kelly, Colin Purcell, and their special guests to seek out the existence of life after death by going to numerous haunted locations such as jails, hospitals, battlefields, and museums, collecting compelling evidence by means of video, photography, and EVPs. In this season, the crew investigates the St. Albans Sanatorium, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, Jailhouse Pizza, and the famed Monroe House. then you can watch Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown on Amazon.com right now. Season 2 and 3 will be coming soon. Your journey begins now.